All right, so we're continuing with example 2, C. This is 7i to the 4. I to the 4, I think, is 1. So this is 7 times 1 plus I squared, which is minus 1, minus 8 times I cubed, which is minus I, plus 8. So this becomes 7 minus 1 minus 8i plus 8. 7 plus 8 is 15. 15 minus 1 is 14. So this is 14 minus 8i. So the real part of the complex number is 14, and the imaginary part is minus 8.
Sir, wouldn't it be a positive 8i?
Negative 8i.
Wouldn't it be positive because there's a negative side?
Very good. A negative times a negative is a positive. Amen. Every now and then the teachers make mistakes like that to test how sharp students are. You guys seem very sharp. Sure, you're correct. So it's positive 8 for the imaginary part. Thank you guys for the correction. All right, so here we have xi. This is plus y times I squared, which is minus 1, plus yx times I squared, which is minus 1, plus y cube I. This becomes minus y minus yx plus xi plus y cube I. If I want to, I could do some factorization. I probably don't have to over the left-hand side, but if I wanted to, I could. So I could be minus y, 1 plus x. Could factorize over here as well. This is x plus y cube I. And so the real part of the complex number is minus y into 1 plus x. And the imaginary part of the complex number would be x. Sometimes I can't stand this pen. Really mess up your penmanship. Is equal to x plus y to the cube. All right, so algebra of complex numbers. Let's have a look at that. Example 3. So here we're asked to multiply these two binomials, z1, z2. So this is going to be 3 plus 2i multiplied by 2 plus 4i. So we're going to treat it as simple as if we're multiplying two binomials. So to do that, I'm going to multiply all the terms on the right, on the right by 3. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4i is 12i. Then I'm going to multiply 2 and 4i by 2i. So 2i times 2 is 4i. And 2i times 4i is 8i squared. All right, when you get very proficient at it, you could just simply go straight ahead and say it's minus 8. It's minus 8 because I squared is going to be minus 1. So this is going to be 6 minus 8. I hope nobody has a problem here because I squared is minus 1. 8 times minus 1 is minus 8. So it's 6 minus 8 plus 12i plus 4i. And so my final answer is minus 2 plus 16i. All right. So what we simply did there is that we simply multiplied what? Two complex numbers, and you simply multiply them like you're multiplying two binomials. In 4, we're told that that complex numbers Z1 and Z2, that they're equal. And if they're equal, we're asked to find the values of X and Y. So we're going to equate these two complex numbers. So Z1, which is 2 plus 3i, is equal to Z2, which is 2x plus minus yi. All right, so if two complex numbers are equal, the real parts are equal and the imaginary parts are equal. So if the real parts are equal, it means that 2x is equal to 2. And simply there, I'm just equating the real part of the two equal complex numbers. Divide both sides by 2, and I get that x is equal to 1. If I equate the imaginary parts, I'm going to get minus y is equal to 3. I could divide or multiply both sides by minus 1, it doesn't matter. And we're going to get y is equal to minus 3. Example 5. So example 5a. So we have complex number Z1 is 3 plus 2i, Z2 is 1 minus I, and Z3 is 4 plus 6i. We're to find the complex number Z1 plus Z2. So Z1 plus Z2 would be 3 plus 2i, which is Z1, plus Z2, which is 1 minus I. So I'm going to add real to real. 3 plus 1 is 4. And imaginary to imaginary, 2i minus I is I. So the answer is 4 plus I. Don't think anybody have any problems. All right, so we're going to turn the page and do the rest of example. Example 5. All right, this says Z1 plus 2, Z2, sorry, minus 2Z2. So this would be Z1, which is 3 plus 2i, minus 2Z2, which is 1 minus I. So that becomes 3 minus 2 plus 2i plus I. Any problems there?
There is, oh yeah, never mind.
All right, so, and I just sort of jump a little step, that's all. So this becomes now 1 plus 3i. Z1 times Z2, so Z1 is 3 plus 2i, multiplied by Z2, which is 1 minus I. I'm going to multiply 1 minus I by 3. 3 ones are 3. 3 times minus I is minus 3i. I'm going to multiply 1 minus I by 2i. So 2i times 1 is plus 2i. A positive times a negative is a negative. 2i times I is 2i squared. So this becomes 3 plus 2. I don't think that should be a stretch for anybody. I square is -1, and 2 minus 2 times -1 is +2. So this is 3 plus 2 minus 3i plus 2i. So our final answer here is 5 minus i. If the signs are different, you must subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. Z2 times Z3. So this is 1 minus I multiplied by Z3, which is 4 plus 6i. I'm going to multiply 4 plus 6i by 1. So that's going to be 4 plus 6i. When you multiply something by 1, it remains the same. Then I'm going to multiply 4 plus 6i by minus I. So minus I times 4 is minus 4i. A negative times a positive is a negative. I times 6i is 6i squared. So this is going to be 4 plus 6. Minus 6 times I squared is plus 6, because I squared is -1. And minus 6 times -1 is +6. Plus 6i.
Sir, can you look back at B, please?
No problem.
Sir, isn't that 1 plus 4i? I was the same thing. I think it's Ariana just spoke. I was just going
Yes, sir, something is wrong. You didn't multiply the 2 by the I.
All right. Can I get back to it after I finish this one?
Sure.
All right, so minus 4i. So here we have 10 plus 2i. All right, and almost immediately, guys, as you said it, I saw it. The error is here.
Yes, sir.
All right, is it? -2 should be plus 2i. You're right, it should be plus 2i. So the final answer should be 4i. All right, so that happens sometimes when you're not very careful. So sometimes the way I approach a thing is not a good approach sometimes, because sometimes then you might make error. Sometimes it's just good to just go through it step by step. So this is -2, and then we have positive 2i here. Next times a negative is a positive 2i. And so what we have is 4i. All right, so thanks for the assist, guys. Let's have a look at E. E says Z1, which is 3 plus 2i, multiplied by Z3, which is 4 plus 6i. So, as I said, sometimes it's best to just work everything out in a nice, orderly fashion. Don't jump any steps, because sometimes in jumping steps, you might make errors. So you need to know yourself and know what you can or cannot do. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18. 2i times 4 is 8i. 2i times 6i is 12i squared. So this becomes 12 minus 12, because 12i squared is the same as saying 12 times -1, and 12 times -1 is -12. And then we have 18i plus 8i. So 12 minus 12 is 0, and 18 plus 8 is 26. So it looks like our final answer is 26i. All right, any problems? Are we good?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's move on now to conjugate of complex number.